pilots.
Yeah.
We get a lot of questions about airline benefits. You're a pilot, and I thought it might be interesting to kind of play along, see what it's like if I was a new pilot. I was coming to you, asking you some questions about these and what I should do.
That's right.
And I know the first question that I would think of, and the question we seem to get a lot, is just, how do I know? How do I make sure I'm set up for retirement? Where do I even begin?
That's
It's
right.
a very complicated thought.
I know we got a lot of moving parts, a lot of airline benefits, and we help people at most major airlines, keep all this stuff straight in their minds. And one of the questions I got, that I thought was interesting was just one of our new pilots from American Airlines. He said, "All right, I'm a new guy. How should I be thinking?" And we do a lot of financial planning, but there's also a mindset. What kind of mindset should I have as I'm a new airline pilot? I want to make sure that when I'm ready to retire, I don't have to worry about anything, and I've got tons of options.
Yeah.
So, that was an awesome question, and I said, all right, let's talk about it then. So basically, you're going to start saving as much as you can, clearly. Mm-hmm. But one of the mindsets we talked about was, first of all, a lot of people transition either from the military or regional airlines or corporate. That's a tough transition. And a lot of times you take on debt. You may or may not have a choice. You're paying for training. You've taken a huge pay cut. So my advice was, hey, get rid of the debt as fast as possible.
Okay.
Debt is like an anchor that weighs us down. Get rid of it as much as possible and keep it gone. Okay? And when I say debt, I mean non-productive debt. Boats, cars, airplanes. I might be striking a chord. But no, there's a time and a place to get a new car and a new airplane. There's a time and a place. But as an airline person, keep the debt low. It's an anchor on your path to wealth and prosperity. There's no doubt about it. So that was a big one. And then the second thing I thought was important that we talked about was be very careful of your lifestyle inflation creep. I mean, a fancy phrase, maybe a silly phrase even for, as your pay goes up, your spending is also going to go up. And that's okay. Yeah, that's okay, but don't make them match the entire time. Keep your spending, within your means and below your income, because eventually your spending will outpace your savings, and that's if we keep spending as much as we're making all through our airline careers, one day we're going to retire and we're going to take a massive pay cut.
Yeah, I think one of the things it's a common just misconception is I can save later, I'm going to make more money, I'll have it, but a lot of times that lifestyle creep really does catch up for you. I mean. You can just once you get your paycheck, it's hard to not want to spend it.
That's right.
And for anybody. But
I know. Last point on this question that you asked, Ben, was we've worked with a lot of airline people, and sometimes I see people that have been really successful in their savings, and I'll ask them, hey, what was the key to your success?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the key to their success was, hey, look, we just kept our lifestyle a certain way. We didn't try to keep up with the Joneses. Our pay increased such that we had margin, extra income on a monthly basis, and we didn't intentionally even save that money, but it's there.
Yeah.
It's just that their lifestyle, was kind of held in check.
They're keeping it in check, making sure you're controlling your spending, and not going above and beyond.
It's difficult. It's easier said than done.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, next kind of thought on that is, what are the different plans, retirement accounts, saving options that we have as airline pilots?
Absolutely.
Why are they different? Where do we start with
There's
that?
Tons of them. Yeah, there's tons of them. That sometimes causes confusion because clearly the first place we go to is our 401ks as airline pilots. Every major airline has a 401k, and I think almost all of the major ones have what's called a B fund. And that's kind of slang or specific to the airline business for non-elective contribution. That's the official IRS lingo.
Okay.
And Ben, what that means is I don't have to save a dime, and Southwest or American, Delta, the rates are a tad bit different for each one. But for example, I think Delta now is at 16%.
Wow.
Southwest is at 15% right now. It might go up to 16%. They're going to save that amount of my paycheck, even if I don't lift a finger to save. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
that's called the B fund, and that's non-elective contribution. That is awesome. So first option for all of the airline pilots is to try to max out your 401k. In our next video, Ben, we're going to talk about whether you should do Roth or non-Roth. There's a lot of things to talk about. We're going to keep it as basic as we can.
Absolutely.
But we also have profit sharings we get to take advantage of, employee stock purchase programs, and even some of our cargo friends out there, FedEx and UPS, they still have pensions, which are kind of, for most airlines, a thing of the past, but they get to take advantage of those. Now, if I'm a young guy or girl at FedEx or UPS, I may not count on my pension being there very long. But that's a little bit controversial now. We won't go there.
Yeah.
It depends on their contract negotiations.
Yeah.
So those are just the basics, Ben.
So lots of options. Lots of options.
Lots of options. And what we're going to talk about at some point, maybe not on this one, but the next one is, what are the priorities of those options? Yeah. Because it's confusing, and sometimes we get them out of order, and there's a very specific order to all those. So we'll talk about that.
Perfect. So how much should I save?
Yeah.
How much should I do? I have the right amount in my 401k?
Right. Yeah.
Am I saving the right amount of money for my 401k and all my different accounts? I mean, what makes sense for someone younger? What makes sense for someone maybe a little later on in their career? Yeah. How do I know I'm on the right path for that?
That's a great question, and it really it takes planning. And it's not like there are calculators out there that people can use, and obviously we help people make that decision. That's a big decision. Mm-hmm. But if we were to simplify and maybe get a lesson or two out of that question, would be obviously save as much as you can. Now, airline pilots are unique in that sometimes, and more so in the past than now, I've flown with guys that have been at 6 or 7 different airlines. Yeah. So they don't get a chance to save. You start an airline, you're furloughed. Start another airline, you're furloughed. And again, we hope those days are in the past, may or may not be. But a lot of people, they're very high income now, but it's all of a sudden I'm high income. Yeah. So the lesson there is you may need to save a lot more because you started late for whatever reason, maybe you're military, whatever. Everybody's circumstances are different. Absolutely. But that seems to be a trend in the airline where we gotta get late starts, but we become high income. So sometimes just maxing your 401k is not enough. And I think that's the lesson here. We can't tell every person how much to invest, but I do want to tell people, don't think that because you're maximizing your 401k that's enough. It may not be, because the IRS puts those limits there and caps them. Yeah.
And if you're earning high income and you have all these different options, you should be taking advantage of them. That's one of the great things about the airline is there's so many different options. There's great benefits. It's just really making sure you're using them to your advantage and maximizing them. And that's what people are trying to do and concerned about.
Yeah. The last thing there is very, very important. I wish I could tell this to every single airline pilot out there, but all of us can contribute to an after-tax IRA. That's a very misunderstood topic. A lot of people say, hey, I can't contribute to my IRA anymore. I make too much money. Not true. Anybody, regardless of income, can contribute to an after-tax IRA. Okay. So take advantage of that. It's another way to get more savings if you're a late start saver. Yeah. And even in bonus, we'll talk about in the next video, is you can maybe convert that after-tax contribution to a Roth IRA, regardless of your income. Even more important.
Save some tax money right there.
Oh my gosh, huge.
Well, thanks. Obviously, a lot to take in there, but definitely a great start. I feel prepared for my career as a pilot. So,
all right, see you next time.